Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary special's display of a classic John Belushi sketch was haunting in retrospect, knowing the events surrounding the show's history. SNL50 brought forward not only several celebrity guests but also some of the show's most iconic stars for the reunion special, from Will Ferrell to Kate McKinnon to Garrett Morris, allowing for several trips down memory lane. Bill Murray offered an ode to co-star Chevy Chase, SNL addressed some of its more controversial skits, and the show also revisited some old material. Garrett Morris was one of Saturday Night Live's original cast members, dating back to 1975. Morris was the first black actor to appear on the show, paving the way for some of the most legendary SNL stars. In the well-reviewed SNL50 special, Garrett Morris introduced a classic sketch by John Belushi, Don't Look Back in Anger, which originally aired in 1978 and contained some of the more solemn bits the show has had over the years, particularly in retrospect, given the tragic fates that befell several iconic cast members. John Belushi's Don't Look Back in Anger SNL sketch explained. John Belushi plays an older version of himself visiting his SNL castmates' graves. John Belushi on SNL. Don't Look Back in Anger shows a black and white film reel of John Belushi portraying an old man who walks through a graveyard eulogizing his SNL cast members' deaths with funny lines but an overly somber tone. Belushi was one of the original SNL cast members as well as the star of movie comedy classics like Animal House and the Blues Brothers, making some mention of his legendary work an absolute requirement for SNL50. Don't Look Back in Anger isn't one of the best SNL sketches of all time, but it undoubtedly packs a punch. The sketch is almost akin to a modern-day roast, though Belushi takes the opportunity for some jests at each of his famous co-stars from the time. He passes from tombstone to tombstone, taking jabs at Gilda Radner, Lorraine Newman, Jane Curtin, the aforementioned Garrett Morris, Bill Murray, Chevy Chase, and Dan Aykroyd. He plays off each name for laughs, but the sketch ends with a fairly somber note, as he says, "The Saturday Night Show was the best experience of my life. And now they're all gone. I'll miss every one of them." Why the SNL sketch is so haunting today. John Belushi was the first SNL cast member to pass away. Don't Look Back in Anger is a particularly jarring sketch in retrospect, given that it's about John Belushi mourning for his SNL cast members in a world where he's the last one alive. In real life, John Belushi was the first of the cast to pass in 1982, just 4 years after this sketch. Belushi was one of many celebrities to tragically pass away young due to issues with substance abuse problems that persisted throughout his career in the 1970s, leading to his death at the age of 33. It makes sense why SNL50 would play this sketch. It's dark, in a way, but it wasn't displayed in an effort to depress audiences. The somber clip isn't all upsetting, it shows how talented Belushi was, able to carry a joke all on his own, and just how much those early days of SNL meant to him and the other cast members, even if it was stated for humor. It's a haunting sketch, in a way, but it's also a beautiful reminder of how much the show has impacted pop culture, the careers of so many legends, and the lives of its audience for half a century. Too many SNL cast members have died either too young or too soon. Norm Macdonald and Chris Farley are part of a longer list. Jane Curtin, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, John Belushi, and other early Saturday Night Live cast members. Sadly, John Belushi wasn't the only SNL cast member to pass away too soon. Several of his beloved co-stars, as well as many who came after, also experienced tragic fates. Gilda Radner, who's mentioned in the sketch, died from cancer in 1989. Phil Hartman, who was on the show from 1986 to 1994, was murdered in 1998. Chris Farley passed away in 1997 under similar circumstances to Belushi. More recently, Norm Macdonald died at the age of 61. Some of Saturday Night Live's most talented stars and funniest minds passed away too young, and it adds to the morbidity of this sketch. It's almost a meta-self-reflection of everything that has befallen the show's cast members over the years while also honoring the outstanding work they contributed during their tenures on the show. It's better to honor John Belushi's comedic achievements, introducing his beloved sense of humor to new viewers.